This is Live at Evolution. I'm Jess, Matthew's behind the camera, and today in the studio I have Anna Katarina.
My love is a riptide. It pulls you in, and if you fall in before you can swim, you might get lost in me. My power is an ocean. She comes and goes. Sometimes I'm strong, like the moon pulling on the shore, and some days I can barely stand. Carolina, am I doing this right? My heart is working overtime, but I'm still alive. Tell me, is time on my side? I'm tired of feeling everything. I'm dancing with the tide. My fear is a rainstorm. It pours down, down, down. Sometimes it floods, sometimes I can't breathe. But there's beauty in me. Carolina, am I doing this right? My heart is working overtime, but I'm still alive. Tell me, is time on my side? I'm tired of feeling everything. I'm dancing. My joy is a river. It runs dry. I got so much to give, but if I'm being honest, I'm wearing thin. Down to skin and bone, sinking real low till there's on the river stone. Carolina, am I doing this right? My heart is working overtime, but I'm still alive. Tell me, is time on my side? I'm tired of feeling everything. I'm dancing with the tide.
That was Riptide by Anna Katarina on Live at Evolution. I'm Jess. How did that song come into life? Where did it come from?
I started writing it when I was in North Carolina, hence the Carolina chorus, which I actually felt kind of self-conscious about because the word Carolina is in so many songs already. And I was really worried what people would think because people don't associate me being from North Carolina, but I actually did grow up 50-50 down there. And so I tried playing with a lot of other words to fill that slot. But that brings me back to, I was in North Carolina visiting my dad, and I think it's interesting having a place in your life that you go back to every year. And I would spend my summers down there. And so it always held this feeling of hope and growth and change because I could really see who I was becoming just by looking back at the last summer that I spent there, especially as a kid, but even when I became an adult. And sometimes that was difficult because I felt like I should be further along in my life than I was. And so when I wrote this song a couple years ago, I was really feeling like that. You know, I was kind of looking back at all of these summers that I'd spent as a kid listening to Sheryl Crow albums on repeat in my dad's truck and imagining that I would be playing on massive stages at this point in my life and then still not being at that point yet, and feeling like, what am I doing? You know, I'm exhausted, I'm emotional. Life is about so much more than just chasing the dream of music, which can be difficult, but also is what makes life so beautiful. And kind of coming to terms with, maybe I'm not at the point of success that I thought I would be at my age, but everything else is kind of coming together. I hope that makes sense.
You mentioned listening to Sheryl Crow. Is she one of your big musical inspirations, or?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up listening to her. She was always an artist that my parents both loved. And the older I got, the more I fell in love with her music and just her as a person. I've gotten to meet her a few times, which has been really inspiring because she's just wonderful. And people say don't meet your heroes, but I don't know, they're pretty great. And I just really feel inspired by what she talks about in her songs because it's like real people problems. I think a lot of us artists can get caught up in writing about the industry and what it's like to be a musician and to be a woman in the industry and to be an entrepreneur and all of those hardships. But that's actually a very narrow field to be writing within. And most of our listeners can't relate to that. And even as an artist, like I don't really want to listen to other artists talk about that because that's what I'm thinking about all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I really love that her music is really down to earth and like real people narrative and very visual. And so I found that to be really inspiring.
Do you have maybe a favorite one of your songs?
That's like picking your favorite kid.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that question. But.
Which I sometimes wonder if parents actually secretly have a favorite kid.
I think they definitely do.
Right?
Yeah.
My sister thinks that I'm the favorite, but I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, I'll play a song called 29 Problems. And I think this is a lot of other people's favorite. And when I first wrote it, I knew that it was going to be special, but I didn't really know that it was going to get as good as it got, and it really grew on me. So it's quickly become one of my favorites. All right. Summer won't go easy on you, knocking you back and dealing you bad cards. Lover, can you see through my smoke? Words I've been repeating, giving a meaning. I got 29 problems and no sign of anything working out. 29 problems and you don't have to make it 30. If you wanna save me, just lay beside me on the floor. When I wake up, I'll realize I want you to stay. There ain't nothing but my own head that got in the way. Lover, take it easy on me. I've been afflicted playing the victim. As I'm getting older, I don't want to shoulder what I built. Feels good to be human. I got 29 problems and no sign of anything working out. 29 problems and you don't have to make it 30. If you wanna save me, just lay beside me on the floor. When I wake up, I'll realize I want you to stay. There ain't nothing but my own head that got in the way. I get lost, I get found, I'm a mess all around. I should probably just keep it down. I need help to sort through it. Why don't I just do it? Instead I keep laying it on you. I got 29 problems and no sign of anything working out. 29 problems and you don't have to make it 30. I should probably just keep it down. 29 problems I made up. Now I'm tripping over 29 problems, and I know I can make it 30. If you wanna save me, just lay beside me on the floor. When I wake up, I'll realize I want you to stay. There ain't nothing but my own head that got in the way.
This is Live at Evolution. That was Anna Katarina with 29 Problems. I'm Jess. Is there a reason that you picked the number 29?
Yes.
In that song?
I was 29 when I wrote the song.
Oh.
So I was feeling the precipice of turning 30, and it kind of goes back to the theme we were talking about before of, you know, what am I doing with my life? Like, am I at the stage of success that I imagined that I would be at getting to 30? And then kind of wallowing in self-pity a little bit. I call this my whiniest song. And then kind of taking a step back and realizing everything's okay, you know, I'm on the right track, I'm happy, I'm very privileged, I wrote the song at my fiance's parents' house down in Phoenix, Arizona, with the sun shining outside and a pool, like, things are okay. And I think we can really get in our own way and create these problems that don't exist. So that's kind of what the song is alluding to. You know, blowing smoke, and will you just lay on the floor beside me? Because when I wake up, I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, I made all that shit up and I'm sorry. And I'm not a very emotionally driven person when it comes to my relationship. You know, I'm pretty level-headed, which I think allowed me to write this song. But I've been in relationships before where I would allow my emotions to really rule my communication style. And so I was kind of pulling from past relationships and making fun of myself a little bit, because I think it's a really common thing that we do as artists, as women, as humans. And I think it's okay. Like, it's so good to be emotional. That's so normal, as long as you can take some accountability.
Yeah. Like, you're always your biggest critic. That's what like people always tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your songwriting process?
Yeah, sometimes I wish I had a better answer for that question, because when I'm sitting down to write a song and I'm not quite feeling inspired or in the right headspace, I wish that I had this like magic formula that I could just pull out and come up with something that I really loved. But it's not the case. Like, sometimes I'll go a couple years and I won't write anything that I really stand behind. So for me, a lot of it is just creating space for myself in my life, which is trying not to be burnt out or overworking, overcommitting myself, and allowing myself to get a little bit bored so that I can just have that mental capacity to really feel my feelings and then make that into what a song is. I do have some tools that I like to employ. I think writing within a box can be the best tool for instilling creativity. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, I'll sit down with my guitar, I'll be like, okay, I don't really have any ideas, we'll just mess around. And maybe I'll come up with something cool like that I like, but it's really hard to take that wide open creative time and have something substantial at the end of it. So what I like to do now is say, okay, I'm going to put my capo here and I'm going to play around with just these two chord shapes. And I'm going to try to write around 120 BPM, because I've noticed a lot of my songs kind of fall around a walking pace. So I'm trying to push myself into different tempos. And so then I'm kind of thinking already of like a tempo, a groove. I've got my box that I'm writing within. Yeah, and then I just try to come up with things within that box. But then there's always the overarching rule that there are no rules. And if there's something that I love, I follow the thread. So if the song really slows down and all of a sudden I'm back to my walking pace tempo, or it's a little bit high up here, I'm going to slide back down to A minor. You know, I just roll with it, because if I'm feeling inspired, then you can always make changes later. But I think the number one thing is to just finish the song, finish the idea, and you can always come back to it.
Yeah, Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're the one who makes the rules. You're the one who gets to break them.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah, that's so cool. Both of those previous songs that you played were off of your album, most recent album, and 29 Problems is the first one on there. So, on the topic of your songwriting structure, what's it like putting an album together?
I love it. I don't ever want to do anything else. That's not true. I do like putting out singles as well, and I think there's a place for singles, especially if you're putting something out that's like a little bit out of your genre or collaborations and stuff. But I think there's something really special about building a world. And I really love the visuals. And as much as I complain about having to be a social media person, I actually really like social media because you get to invite people into your visual world that you created. And if you have a whole album, you can tell a story. So I really love it. And as an artist, you want to think beyond just the music, right? Like it is a really big multimedia project that you're putting together. You've got the album artwork, you've got even just how you pitch the record and what fonts you choose, like all of that's really important. And it always comes back to kind of the theme of the record and what you're trying to say. So it's really fun, and it can be complicated at times because sometimes you have a song that doesn't quite fit or you question your choices. Like I've got questions for myself about my record. Like, was that a good choice? Or was that album cover really portraying what I wanted it to? Those are things you're always going to ask yourself, and you have to just accept that they were the right decisions at the time and to move forward. And as long as you're enjoying yourself and putting authentic intentions behind the project, I think it's a really cool experience. And it's a really fun way to build an audience and make new fans because you want people that want to really back you as an artist. And the best thing that you can do is to give them a full world to just immerse themselves into.
It's very highly curated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've never thought of it as like so many different aspects before. But do you have a single of yours that maybe you'd like to play for us?
Ooh, like a single that's not on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple that are coming out this year, but I'm not going to play them yet because if I was going to be very cool and elusive, I would tell you that it's because I'm saving them and they're not to be shared yet. So I'll play you a song that I wrote and recorded with a friend of mine virtually. He lives in Peru and we met going to school in Boston. And this one's called Lost Without You.
I crossed the line, you say, as if I was trying to let you down. You think I'm messy and unkind and leave it pieces of me behind. But you're the drum beating in my brain. You knock me out with a cat and mouse game. Now I'm driving in the dust, chasing any part that's left of us. I got the wheel in my hands, the radio's up. I got the bitter taste of a love gone bad. The rearview mirror is black and this road's in retrograde. You got me feeling like you're already gone. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I drank your water and now I'm high. Can't tell the difference between left and right. You've already taken us for a ride, and baby, now I'm alone on this night. But you're the sun burning in my eyes. You left me blinded by your glowing lights. Now I'm driving in the dust, chasing any part that's left of us. I got the wheel in my hands, the radio's up. I got the bitter taste of love gone bad. The rearview mirror is black and this road's in retrograde. It's got me feeling like you're already gone. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. But you're the sun burning in my eyes. You left me blinded by your glowing lights. Now I'm driving in the dark over broken vows and question marks. I got the wheel in my hands, the radio's up. I got the bitter taste of love gone bad. The rearview mirror is black and this road's a retrograde. It's got me feeling like you're already gone. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you.
That was Lost Without You by Anna Katarina on Live at Evolution. I'm Jess. So that one was off the record, and I'm kind of going to go back to the record for a second, because I know that you toured around Europe for that record. How did that happen?
A lot of emailing and hard work. I started touring in Europe in 2023. And I just started cold emailing booking agents and found one that was willing to take a chance on me. So I did my first tour in 2023 spring, and then I went back in the fall, and then I went back 2024 spring, 2025 spring. And then finally I realized like those little tours were great, but I wanted something bigger. So for the album release, I paired up with a different booking agency who also does a lot of promotion and wanted me to bring the full band. So it was a really big undertaking for me as my own tour manager and self-funding the whole project. But it was probably one of the best things I've ever done for my career, is to take a bunch of my friends and some of the best musicians in BC over to Germany and play my music. It was an absolute dream come true.
Yeah, and how was it received over there?
So good.
Yeah?
Like, it was actually crazy. I think, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but the audiences in Europe are very special, and there is more of an attitude towards appreciation of original music and live music. It's just more integrated into the culture. Whereas here, there's a lot more background music. And I think about this a lot because I also do background music in Vancouver as a job. And I think it's great. I love that people want it because it helps me pay my rent. But I think it also creates this weird culture towards music where we kind of always expect it to be a little bit in the background. And in Europe, they just don't really have that. So I would play a pub or a bar that in Vancouver no one would be listening to. It doesn't mean they don't appreciate it. It's just in the background. And there, everyone's quiet and listening attentively and buying your merch and passing the hat around. And so they just have a really different, super different attitude towards music, and I feel very appreciated. I also find it's interesting in Germany specifically is that they're so honest about how they feel, and they also don't use language that exaggerates. So in North America, we're like, oh my gosh, that's the best day of my life, or like, I don't know, I'm gonna die. All these things that we say that are not true. There, they don't say that. So I remember the first time I played with my band and a guy walked past the merch table and he put his thumb up and he says, "That was fine." And they were like, oh my gosh, they hated it. He hated it. And I'm like, no, he loved it. Like, if he hated it, he would have just left and not said anything. But to them, fine means like fine wine. Like, he loved it. He gave me a thumbs up. So I really appreciate that they are really honest. And that means so much more when people come up to you and tell them how much your music has touched them. So I'm a big fan of touring in Europe, if you can't tell, and I will definitely be back soon.
Yeah, it's so cool because your style of music that you make, like, I envision it as very kind of like Americana, like very North American sounding. Mm-hmm. And so for it to really take off over there is really cool. It's very cool. And I know you also have a song called Background Noise.
I do.
Would you like to play it for us?
I would love to play it. Sometimes I play this at my background gigs, and I don't know if that's kind of sad or if it kind of is cheeky. Depends on the day.
I think it's more cheeky.
Okay.
Kind of like self-aware. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I always hope that somebody's listening and is like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Sometimes I play to empty rooms and that's okay. Sometimes I make less than a livable minimum wage paying. My dues doesn't pay much when no one's paying attention. Pouring out my soul for a couple free drinks and a shot of exposure. Honestly, I'm checking in. Is anybody listening? Will anybody notice if I stumble? Screaming out into the void, even if I'm background noise. At least it keeps me humble. They always say, love what you do and you'll never work a day. And I love my life, but I'm always working overtime, paying my dues. Doesn't pay much when no one's paying attention. Pouring out my soul for a couple free drinks and a shot of exposure. Honestly, I'm checking in. Is anybody listening? Will anybody notice if I stumble? Screaming out into the void, even if I'm background noise. At least it keeps me humble. Cheer me on and turn me down. Prefer the view without the sound. So I learned how to fake it. Well, I'll keep putting in the years, writing songs like souvenirs. I'll find a way to make it. Honestly, I'm checking in. Is anybody listening? Will anybody notice if I stumble? Screaming out into the void, even if I'm background noise, yeah. At least it keeps me humble. Honestly, I'm checking in. Is anybody listening?
That's Background Noise by Anna Katarina on Live at Evolution. I'm Jess. Is there anything that we can look forward from you coming up? I know you mentioned a new record
Yeah.
coming up.
Very early stages of a new album. Right now I'm just trying to get some financial backing and planning for what that project will look like. But I do have a producer on board and we have recorded some demos, so it's definitely moving forward. Probably looking at like a late 2027 release. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep touring this album around that I love so much. And I've got a handful of singles coming out this year. One of them is with a German artist that I met on tour, and we wrote a song together, and we're actually recording it with a producer who's in Australia. So it's going to be a very global production, but I'm very excited. It's leaning a little bit more into the kind of Taylor Swift, Phoebe Bridgers duet style, like a bit indie pop folk.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I'll be
excited.
looking out. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add before we end off here?
I'm playing a really exciting show on June 2nd. I think that's a Tuesday. And it's going to be at the Fox Cabaret. I'm bringing my full band, and it's with an artist. I'm going to say her last name wrong, I realized. But her name is Kendall Lujan, I think. I think that's how you pronounce it. She's from Portland. She's very, very cool. She does kind of indie folk music, but modern, but with an old school aesthetic. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm really excited for that collab show with her. So June 2nd.
It's very exciting. And where can people find like your social medias? And if they want to go give you a follow.
Please give me a follow. My name is Anna Katarina, Katarina. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. at Anna Katarina Music. I'm also on Spotify, Apple Music, and Bandcamp. I also have vinyl and CD, which are very, very cool. And that's basically it. I'm not on X. Neither should you.
Well, this has been Live at Evolution. Thank you so much, Anna, for spending time with me here. I'm Jess, and see ya.